Hello everyone and welcome to the round 5 of our anti-stall racing IMSA series. Today we are at Watkins, Glen, a fantastic circuit for multiclass known for IMSA in the United States of city of Watkins, Glen, New York. With me I have Anthony. Hello.
Hello, hello. It's nice to be here with you, my friend. And yeah, one of my favorite tracks, one of the most exciting tracks in America, in my humble opinion. Carries a lot of speed, a lot of exciting turns, a lot of iconic spots. And Watkins Glen in a beautiful area actually in the US that I am obsessed with. So getting to see it here for iRacing makes it even better.
As of now we are starting our qualifying session. You see some GT3s are starting. They are of course going to be the first ones to do it. 15 minutes for GT3s before we go to 15 minutes of the GTPs.
Last night qualifying was actually calm. Nothing crazy happened for us last week. Hopefully it's more the same this time. And even, even the race, because last week we talked a lot about the race prior to that, which was full chaos, and there was a lot going on in the middle, but I feel like overall it was a pretty calm race, pretty clean for the most part, and really exciting.
Rupi seems to be the one that's furthest ahead. I will give a rundown on how the track is. But yeah, from the really eventful ending of the previous race that we had on Brazilian Interlagos, I suppose that championship order must have changed a bit. I need to tell you the standings in a bit. I will just wait for Rupert to do his lap, and I'll give you an onboard of how the track is. So he goes around the last corner now, crosses the start finish line here, and onto his lap on Watkins and first corner here, medium speed corner, cambers to the right side, is a left side. Ooh, that's a bit too much on the outside. That's definitely an off track. You cannot put like most of the car on the left side here. Now full throttle here uphill, left, right. Now for the part where you get the most speed here, the longest straight, before we go to a bus stop chicane, really famous bus stop chicane here. You need to cut really close to the wall. That one is not an off track, but yeah, you need to cut it before we do this downhill to the right, very long corner to a left corner, also downhill, also camber, but slower speed than the previous corner. Use the outside here as much as you can. Curves start to get a bit more straight as you go uphill to the right. You need to keep the throttle here for quite a lot, but not full throttle. At the end then you can push on the car. As you go to another wheel straight here, this one is a bit sharp on the right. Touch a bit on the curves on the inside. You can use a lot more on the outside here. You can even go outside here. Prepare yourself on the right side to do probably the hardest corner here on the track. Because when you push, because of the camera of the track, you start to go a bit oversteering. As you go to two medium speed corners here, this one being the fastest. Ooh, a bit slidey there. As you now try to just do the right side corner, be careful to not hit the wall, be as close as possible, and he crosses the line. We did see him get an off track right in the first quarter, so maybe his second one will be... No, he did not get an off track. Interesting. It seemed like he did.
So Watkins Glen's really interesting with that turn one. If you go in a bit too crazy, you will go wide like that, and a lot of times you want to avoid it, not just obviously for an off track, but even in something like you mentioned, NASCAR, very famous for running this track constantly. If you go up really high out of that turn number one, you'll get stuck up in the marbles, and you'll find yourself completely out of control and 9 out of 10 times hitting the wall, which is a big problem there. We also saw, you mentioned, going through the famous bus stop, you have the speed coming out of the S's, and going into the bus stop, if you want the full speed, you've got to take it a little risky, get close to that wall, and that brings me to turn 11, going into the straightaway leading to the start finish line. There's a wall there that a lot of times, and especially with just, even if you were to take a personal car out there and just do a lap, get some track times for fun, a lot of times you'll see that turn really underdriven because everyone's really afraid of the wall there, because if you hit it wrong, you can just smash into that wall, and that's something that's really common, like I said, not even just for racing, but even when people take street cars there for lap times.
That is completely correct. Look at how much grass he did there. As far, even though it seemed like his lap was a quick one, he is still in P2, 3 tenths behind Carlos Boza. 2 yellow sectors, but he does get a purple sector. Can he actually improve it on the left sector to get that provisional pole? Seems like he did, didn't he? No! Only almost the same time as before.
Fairly good time. One of the slower times you tend to see, even out of IMSA, or around 145. Tend to be the slowest of times you'll see the slowest ranking of cars. So 143 out the gate, not bad. Certainly setting a good pace, but something that, you know, I think back to last week when Daniel Sedgley, I believe Eloy Carbonara as well, they both kind of last second set the pole. So I'm kind of looking for the same thing this time.
Antonio aborting this lap. I think he had caught up to the traffic ahead of him, so he couldn't be any faster. The bus stop, though, I think it's a really fun set of corners to do, because it's not as easy. He also got held up by that car. I guess he needed to leave more space. But yeah, the bus stop is really fun to do because it's not easy. That's for sure. But when you do it perfectly, the perfect amount of cutting, you can really be proud of what you accomplish here. But you see, some don't even try to cut it that close, but you really have to be as close as possible to that wall. Otherwise, you're not really gaining much time, as you're gonna take more time on doing the rotation of the car. As we see some more cars here going by. So on the outside, I think he was not. There we go, like that Ford GT and that Ferrari. Or I think Kevin Stam. That's how you do that corner. And we saw all that Mercedes took on the escape route. I guess he either let the cars behind him go by, or he was just did the corner wrong.
Another interesting thing to keep your eyes out for during the race, especially in that bus stop, is very fun spot to pass and very common spot to pass. You want to try to get that. If you can get the inside run going into the bus stop, then odds are, coming out of there, you'll have the position you're fighting for. It's obviously a risk, and nobody enjoys taking it side by side there because you're running significant risk. I mean, we've seen it enough of how they go through and how close you get to the wall. But, like I said, if you want to pass, that is one of the better spots on the track to do it, while there are a few. And then one other thing I want to point out, too, is as we kind of see some cars going through there now on the track view in the top right, turn 11, that area, kind of the 9 to 11 area, is very narrow. So while for areas like the bus stop is a very pass-heavy track, you can race it. Aggressive is certainly the wrong word. I said that a few times last week, that's not a word I want to use, but you can get a little confident, make some plays happen. for bus stop areas, certainly, but in that narrow zone, that 9 to 11, once again, you got to be really careful because it gets really narrow, really quick. You got a lot of speed going into the harshest break, so you got to play it smart.
Yeah, this track does have a couple of overtaking spots, the best one being the strip because of all the speed that you get from the slipstream. It's a fun track, but for some reason, a lot of the races, especially online, end up in a lot of chaos on the first lap. It's yes, it's something that usually happens on turn ones, yeah, lap ones, but on this track specifically, because it seems like it's a so fast of a kind of track that it's prone to more mistakes. Especially on people trying to cut or leaving it side by side on the bus stop. We'll see how the race goes. 45 people here. 27, I think around that, 27, 29 actually, being GT3s. See a lot of GT3s on the road. So, for fast laps, Carlos was still with the fastest lap. Rupe, Kurkipa in P2 and Osman Sert in P3. They have not been improving the lap times. This is a high degradation track, so the tires do get hot, and the first laps are always the best ones to do. So I suppose some people are doing 1 or 2 laps and then quickly going to the pits and doing another one.
Certainly be the wise way to go about things. I think with a lot of these track times too, it's getting comfortable, especially, and we saw it a bit off air in the practice before the drivers meeting earlier. It's kind of just figuring out this track, figuring out the most efficient way to head around things. This track is very, very clear and very, I don't want to say simple, but very known ways around. We'll mention it a million more times, but the bus stop in particular. But you want to get the feel for it going through, and that might be part of it too, kind of going alongside what you're talking about. Just not every run you're trying to go out of your mind and set the best times, but speaking of best times,
finally Rupe does get the fastest lap time. He's still going on for the second one. I guess that was an off-track just there. Really hard to see the limit of what's allowed and what's not allowed, but Rupe does get the provisional pole. 4 minutes to go. Doesn't seem like anyone's catching that lap time yet.
Big race for Rupe, as you mentioned earlier, and as I'm sure you're not far from getting into. Rupe currently sitting at the top of the points for the pros, so important race as every race is, but certainly this time.
Where is Antonio Vitozzi? Because it seems like he is getting a faster lap time. Here we go. He is following his teammate behind. Maybe that helped him to get some slipstream, some extra speed, as he will now cross the line. Could be a provisional pole. It's only a P4. That's close, but not enough to catch the lap times of Rupe, Carlos Boza, and Alessandro Porta. 2 minutes remaining of qualifying before we go to the GTPs. You might probably not notice, but this is one of the latest updated tracks. I think it has one of the better graphically designs of the other tracks that we've seen here on being raced here. Like the colors of the track are much more vibrant, and also you don't really see that much of the green tint. So iRacing has been improving a lot on the graphic fidelity, even though the background like isn't that much detail. I think the track itself has so much detail, especially on the curves. It's stuff that you can really appreciate visually, especially on the replays, how good iRacing looks, doesn't it?
Oh, 100%. And what's funny too is Watkins Glen is a track that not every time, there has certainly been some bright sunny day, beautiful races run there throughout all the different motorsports that have gone there, but a lot of times Watkins Glen is a very gray track, a very gloomy track. A lot of times the weather can be less than ideal. when races head there, especially when they head there later in the year, being how north this track is in upstate New York. So it's always fun to actually see it with some sun out and get to see, like you said, the vibrance of the track, the colors of the blue walls that are so famous. It's just so gorgeous.
Yeah. We are seeing here that the current temperature is 37 degrees air temperature, 42 degrees our track temperature. And it's partially cloudy, so it's not completely sunny. But it is a nice weather, I would say, to go on racing. Andrea Dalla.
Rupa's still hanging on at the preliminary pole.
Yeah, see that Andrea Dalla managed to get himself in P4 now. Lap times aren't that far apart from each other. Actually, this is the times that we should be seeing. There we go. So in between the top 10, it's the top 9 at least. It's under a second on the lap times. And that is the GT3 qualifying done. Now these drivers that are on track and finish their lap times before we move on to the GTPs. Let's see if Osman can do it. He's like currently P3. Dale could improve his lap time to get either a P2 or P1. Let's see. Couple corners left too. He's about halfway through track. Ooh, be careful. Yeah, that's a done lap. He went too much on the outside and sadly he hit the grass. Alessandro Porta though, 1 purple sector, 2 green sectors. Still improving his lap time and he's only P5, 4 tests behind the current collision pole. Careful on this corner. And he does it well. You see a bit of sliding but it's fine. It did lose him a bit of time.
Yeah, a bit late hitting that apex, and that's kind of how that turn works. It gets you a bit loose off, just like that. You got to kind of keep that momentum. This track is so much about momentum.
He hit the wall. That's his lap done. Oh, sadly.
There's that dangerous wall.
He was pushing, certainly pushing, but unfortunately, it wasn't even enough. As we now go on to the GTP qualifying.
Now we get an idea of exactly what this track can do.
We will see a lot less lifting, so to say. But with these cars, it's actually a bit more dangerous to cut the bus stop compared to the GT3s because the suspension is a lot tighter. It goes, the cars are a lot lower. But you can certainly still cut it as much close to that blue wall as you can. You'll definitely see some people doing it.
Yeah, and you'll see if there is a side-by-side, kind of like what I was talking about prior. If there's a side-by-side going into the bus stop, if that's where you're trying to make your pass, with these faster prototype cars, you'll tend to see much more of leeway. You'll tend to see the car that's getting past, just kind of let him go. Because it's so tough for these cars to comfortably hang side by side in that bus stop. It's just so dangerous. It really isn't worth the position, which when you get later in the race, those become to get a bit more dicey, a lot more dangerous, and they really take a lot of experience and control from the drivers.
Well, let's go for a little lap here. It's Sebastian now crosses the line. Some cars ahead of him, but it's fine.
See how he takes this turn 1 in comparison to what we saw previously.
A lot tighter because the car has a lot more downforce, so you can push it a lot early and still stick it to the ground.
That shows you the speed that he gets taking it that way heading into the S's.
295 km per hour, close to the wall as possible. Now you can cut the air well. Very fine here, medium speed but long one. try to use more the outside here. Cut back to the racing line here on the right side. Just the third gear here, slide down the throttle, and then push. Can even do a bit faster there, but it's fine. Bit on foot on the throttle, then push it maximum. Be careful on the grass. This corner here, touch the pillar curves on the inside. Use as much of the outside as you want. And back to the racing line now. This corner here is a bit dangerous on the throttle at the exit, because you can. Yeah, he even corrected a bit, but it really oversteers on that corner. The camber really does not help you. You can push that corner is full throttle as he goes to the last corner. Be careful on the wall. Thankfully, this car has enough downforce to just keep it really, really well on the inside of that corner. As we now see, Matis currently has the provisional pole by 1.2 seconds. Look at how much he cut that busty.
And as we get into the boot with Matis, dude, you know, we talked a lot about the bus stop, but the boot might be the most iconic part of the track layout of Watkins Glen.
Yes, depends on the racing series. If NASCAR doesn't use the boot, for example.
For good reason.
So yeah, I do like the boot. It completes the track, that's for sure. It's only, what, 1, 2, 3 corners more? No, you can count 4. But it makes the whole track feel complete. Like, it's not a long track. At least not complicated number of corners, but it feels like a GP track should, you know? It even crosses the line. Matis goes in even faster now. 127.4 is the time to beat on the GTPs. Sebastian Hoekraft is his teammate. He seems like improved his lap times, got the fastest first sector. Let's see if he can put himself in the top 3. Top 2, exactly. Good for him. Eloy Caballero now. 2 purple seconds. That could even be a provisional pole though. It's not. It's a P2. 1.8 seconds behind Matis. So
Matis really did set a strong first lap.
Yes, he did. Especially because he has been missing the pole position in the previous races. So I think he is out here to get them. We will talk more about the current championship standings, but interesting to see is that Matis was not really even close to the podium in the previous race, but he did manage to finish in P2. A lot was happening on that race. And where is the driver who won it? It was the Daniel Sedgley. Yeah, it was.
Yeah, after a really exciting race between Daniel Sedgley and Eloy Caballero and Ovale as well, 2 teammates, but
yeah,
as we saw in the previous race, some unfortunate accidents that were led from speaking. You know what? That's horrifying timing, because that's almost exactly the way that Tommy Patero got into trouble with the teammates that we were talking about last week.
How close? Too close even. I was gonna say they were like too close to be making a lap together, and then they both end up in the wall. But at least Joan Diaz did.
You know, you've really got my mind on a funny kick. I've been trying to think of and imagining how long it would take a NASCAR or a stock car in general to get through the boot, and because the lack of speed that they would have in that boot would be kind of hysterical. They'd have to cut like half of their laps out of their race.
Well, the best part, yeah, about NASCAR is the acceleration, so...
Yeah.
I could tell you... Actually, right now I can tell you what the lap times are by iRacing drivers at least. Just keep entertaining our viewers while I'm just looking at it real quick. Because I got really curious.
Certainly. Matis is somebody I would have my eyes on this race because, you know, there was a lot of talk from you and I about Montes in the previous race because we were talking about the points, which, like you said, we'll touch on later.
Stopping
So
on the brake.
it'll be an exciting driver to watch should this pole work out and getting to see the points leader really open it up on a track such as this. And there's Carbonaro and Ovali, two racers we were talking about from last week who had an incident very late in the race that stopped what was a battle between teammates and Daniel Sedgley. Daniel had been keeping up with them for pretty much the entire second half of the race, but unfortunately some trouble between, I believe it was Ovali and Tommy Patero, ended up affecting the race as a whole for those four, and Daniel ultimately would get the victory in what was an exciting race, but probably would have been even more exciting, which is incredible to say, should there not have been any incidents.
Well, I got the lap times here. Fastest lap time that someone did on a NASCAR Next Gen Cup car seems to be a 151.
And that's without the boot or with the boot?
With the boot.
That's with the boot. Yeah,
Yeah.
That makes a lot of sense.
And the slowest we had, the GT3 driver, it is 146, so 5 seconds slower than the slowest of the GT3. But still, it's 8 seconds.
And that's without the pack racing of NASCAR as well. I mean, obviously that'd be the fastest, but if you consider how close they run together, the back of the pack will probably be looking rough.
True. Now, just real quick to see how much it does on... What is it called? It's the cup, yeah. On the cup layout, the lap times are really quick because it's only 1 minute and 10. So the cars use about 40 seconds. No, my calculus is wrong. 40 seconds on the boot part. Then that's the NASCARs. That's what I'm telling about how the boot really completes the track. And as we see, Matti is now having the fastest lap time. Still 1:1:27.
A significantly faster time too.
Yeah. Look how much fast he was going through that bus stop. Fantastic to see the prototypes just doing the fast corners like it's nothing. Car number 24. That is Kevin Galvin. So yeah, that penalty means he cannot do the qualifying. 5 minutes. I think it's on this one, yeah. I guess he is out now. Because the 5 minutes are all past. It's now less 5 minutes to go. I guess he either has the 5 minutes already done or it's for the next time, next qualifying. I just heard some accident, but the car exploding. Let me see what happened here. Get the wall. Oh.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. That would have been a red flag if it was a qualifying in real life. Because gotta repair all the damage on the track. Thankfully, yeah, Racing does have damage on track. So we can just keep going on the qualifying to the end. Now, where's Tommy Patero? Tommy Patero is on his fast lap. He really needs to get those 5/10 somehow. At least being P2. Once or valid is off track right now. Oh! There was both the cars were off track here. That's his lap time cancelled as well, but 2 minutes to go. He can still do at least one more lap.
I certainly don't envy being a steward for a start of Watkins Glen as we get closer to that. Gonna be a very interesting first lap or two.
Yeah, definitely. You know, Eloy is leaving some space on the cars ahead of him, eating a bit as much tires as he can before he starts his lap time. And there he goes. He only has one chance to do this lap time if he wants to beat Matis now. A second on-board lesson. Gotta use all the extremes of the track as possible if you really want to get that lap time even closer to Matis. You see him cutting the first stop.
This is where Matis got their time. Cut it well.
Interesting, he did it in 5th gear. Usually that's done in 4th. So that you have a bit more rotation. Can't see if Eloy is currently improving his times because the other cars down there are showing. We will see it soon enough. Still doesn't have anyone ahead of him, no one has an accident, he can still keep going. There we go.
Everything's been clean so far.
Yeah, but it's all yellow sectors.
Yep.
Seems like it's slower. In general, yeah, this is not the lap time that's gonna beat Matis.
It was a great racing lap, but the qualifying obviously would have wanted to push a little more.
Yeah, he did wrong. Yeah, you cannot touch the curves on the right side. Otherwise the car just going to understeer to the wall. And that is the qualifying by like some other drivers are on the track, of course. Including Matis, currently with the fastest first sector. Should be good on the race. So we are now seeing that the qualifying has finished. We will go on the standings before the race starts. But for now, while we still have some 5 minutes of warm-up, drivers can now relax a bit, test out the race setups, and so we get going to the main race of an hour of IMSA racing in Watkins Glen. As you said, it was fixed now. So, the standings. I was gonna say the standings. Currently, we have Niels Ullmann leading on the GT3 AM class by about 140 points on Simon Garau and Stefan Albanese. Okay. We also have on GT3 Pro class Rupe Kurkipa in P1. He didn't win the previous race, so he kind of lost some points there in the table. Carlos Poza, which is currently in P2, actually managed to gain a lot of points now closer to Rupe, only 23 points apart between P1 and P2. Alexander Porte is in P3, he won the previous race. And on the GTP cars, we have Matis in P1 with 1,140 points, and about 90 points behind, it's Daniel Sergi, which won the previous race. Eloy Caballero is in 3rd place with 985 points. So the difference in points between P1 and P2 on the GTP has significantly reduced, thanks to Daniel's great strategy that he did on Brazil. he managed to get really closer to Mattis. Now let's see if he can keep it up, because in this race it seems that Mattis is the fastest driver.
That strategy last week from Daniel was a late pit stop. And on the track, I believe it was Tommy Patero only had gone one pit stop. So we were kind of watching that situation work out, and Tommy had cut it close. But post-race, Daniel Sedgley had made it known that had the white flag come even one lap later, he would not have made it to the finish in the position he did. So the timing worked out last week for Daniel.
So everything on the stream is going back to normal, everything is good, the cars are disappearing suddenly. With 2 minutes now to go before we go onto the race, and I tell you what the grid is. Seems like no one has put a lap yet. I wanted to see what the competitive lap times would be in a race situation with traffic and whatnot. But there we go, GTP is now being the first ones to cross the line, 128.8. I think the lap times during the race are supposed to be around 128. The first ones are going to be faster because of the battery that the GTPs have. So it's not one that they can start right off with a 128, but we will see how the next ones will go on. Need to circle around on this corner. Yeah, going on traffic on this track, it's pretty wide, yes. But it's because it's all fast corners, you really need to respect also the GT3s, which may not be as quick on doing the corners, might understeer a bit. So you need to suddenly change your racing line from going to the outside to the inside to pass the GT3s if you are the GTP. It's an interesting balance with these classes on this track. You hardly are actually a bit patient. If you are like behind on the bus stop, yes, you have to wait for them to do the bus stop. If you are behind at this corner, you can either just try to set it on the inside or wait for the next corner. But it's not a high sequence of corners that you have to stay behind the other car. Usually it is pretty quick to go around the traffic.
Yeah, it's exactly what you said. Patience is key. If you find yourself pushing, there's so many spots on this track where you have options to push and make things happen, that if you choose to do it at an inconvenient time, you're putting yourself in way too much of a risk.
Alright, so we go on here with the IMSA qualifying on the round 5. We got...
As a reminder, car number 29 will be starting from the pit lane, so that means that in hypercar field you may end up moving forwards one row relative to the grid. For the rest, I hope everyone enjoys the race. Please keep it safe, be sensible. No, Daniel. And be aware of yellow flag, be aware of your relatives. If there's just a normal yellow flag, then you effectively do what you want. If there's a safety car, then please slow down safely is the main thing. Just make sure you don't brake check the car that's a car 10 behind you. Okay, everyone, enjoy. Goodbye.
Number 29 being car of Alvaro Gutierrez from too many incidents on the previous races. He starts on the grid, pit. Now, we have Mattis Richardson in P1, Tommy Patero in P2, Eloy Cabanha in P3, Juan Silva in P4, Daniel Sedgley in P5, Sebastian Hoodcraft in P6, Alvaro Gutierrez in P7, Stefano Rebesi in P8, Marco Pavona in P9, Daniel Carvalho in P10. That is the top 10 of the GTPs. As we go now with the GT3 Pro, Rupe Kurkipa in P1, we have Carlos Buzz in P2, Oldman Sert in P3, Andrea Dalla in P4, Alessandro Porta in P5, Antonio Vitozzi in P6, Marcello Cassetta in P7, Thomas Avantini in P8, Marco Fincato in P9, and Matteo Upertali in P10. As for the GT3 AM, we have Simon Garao in P1, Stefano Albanese in P2, we have Samir Arsha in P3, Cyrus Schmidt, Aurelio Beck in P4, Leon Elwood in P5, Cyrus Schmidt in P6, Kevin Bouter, Marco Capitan in P7, Kevin Bouter in P8, Anthony Quarta in P9, and Michael Bouter in P10. That is the whole grid. Of all the 47 cars you can see here, some GT3 AMs are in the middle of the GT3 Pros, being Simon Guerrero and Stefano Benezzi in the mix of those GT3 Pros. But yeah, it's a lot of cars to go on this track, that's for sure. If you see them fighting, it's going to be hard to pass. I have forgot to mention this, and because the GT3s are good at keeping the slipstream of the cars ahead, it could be difficult for the GTPs to overtake. Especially if they try to do one by one, they probably have to do it on packs.
Yeah, patience and smarts. That's gonna be what's fast this race.
Very much indeed. We will see how the pit stop is well gonna work here. If we're gonna have another situation of one pit stop only being the race winner, or 2 pit stops. Hopefully drivers have started practicing the fuel since, otherwise they might get out strategies by Daniel Seiji, for example. We are coming close to the start finish line. Interesting to see that Tommy Patori is P2.
Can we close the gap at the back of the hard car?
It's gonna be an exciting race about to start now.
121.
Safety car is in right now as we go on the start zone. It's between the Geico and the white bar on the left side of us, or right side of them, and it is... Oh, we did see Tommy Paterno did start way early than he's supposed to. That has to be investigated by the stewards, I think. But he does stay in P2. He did give up, but it might have made some confusion on the back. You see now everyone going above on the S's.
First bus stop coming up. We'll see how everyone takes it in there.
Ooh, we see a John Deere just going on the skip route there. Now on the GT3 side, we are seeing everyone still keeping themselves online. Oh no, there's an accident right behind. 3 cars involved. We will see them in a bit. We just keep going. GT3 so far. Now everyone kinda keeping single line here. Now go back to our GTPs here. Ooh, that's a little slidey from Daniel Carvalho, kind of hit the car of Carlos Ponce. We have seen Daniel Carvalho doing a lot of hits. I think it was even on Carlos Ponce. Daniel Sergio is going slow. He is going to the pits.
Oh wow!
Our previous race winner now going extra super early on the pit stop. So far we are currently seeing the gap is 5/10 of a second between P1 and P2 or the GT3s. Usually it takes a lot less time to Rupert keep himself far ahead, but because this track favors a lot on the slipstream, I guess he can't really keep himself too far apart from the car behind. Look at how close he is getting now, 3/10 behind of Rupert.
You know, we did have the accident, but overall, first time around
Another
the track,
accident, and that's from Daniel essentially.
I had to jinx it. I just had to jinx it.
Yeah,
Huge accident.
It's a commentator. Oh, it's a yellow flag. So
My first caster's curse for anti-stall racing, and it's a gigantic one at that.
So I guess because of so many acts. Oh my god!
Oh no!
What is happening? So it is yellow flag. It's safety car. So everyone has to slow down and get behind the safety car because there are too many incidents involved. A lot has to be investigated. It's actually the first one we had in a long while here in the anti-stall racing. But I did tell you on the first laps at Watkins end, it's usually super dangerous, isn't it?
Yep, and we had one early accident, but things were able to keep moving, keep smooth past it. But that last one, I mean, we could kind of see the explosions essentially in the background, just a bit too much. And then even after the caution had come out, we saw more incidents right away, right off the bat. So rough start to Watkins Glen, and certainly a lot for the stewards to sort out. We talked about not being envious of it, but it's going to be a tall task, certainly, and a rough start to the race. And a lot of drama too, just not just looking at the accidents, but looking what happened with Daniel Sedgley, who ended up being involved. A lot of layers to this.
We will look at the incidents in a bit. We're actually seeing, I think Antonio has to go on the pit stop. He is completely losing his front. No, he's still going. Why? Your car has no front. Maybe he doesn't know, maybe he didn't get a warning, but let's start looking at what happened from Matteo Bertali. McLaren driver here, he was a bit on the backside.
Okay, I'll be 3 to go when the safety car...
Already an accident happened here. When he didn't manage to defend that mistake.
Daniel was just kind of stopped.
Same start zone.
It seems like people don't see
Oh
the
my
incident ahead and
goodness.
keep going for some reason.
Will the GT3 car go between us away or what?
Yeah, we'll do a class separation, so it should let the live
It's a lot to break down so far. It kind of looks like a case of like you said, it was way too much aggression post-accident, and then not looking enough ahead to see all the cars slowing up. Plus Daniel, who was stopped in the track, it was just a domino effect.
Yeah.
Okay, so that should hopefully now just break the loss. Apologies spamming the
Trying
entire
to
view.
look for
Hopefully
what happened.
now all the GT3s should end up behind the car.
Okay, hold on. Here we go. You see that GT3? Oh, that was unfortunate for him.
Okay.
Fuck everything up. I'm allowed to stop the entire field now.
That's what cascaded from here because we see that GT3 losing control.
That's why.
Okay, where they are in that high spot.
But even before this lap incident, but this is what caused.
The iRacing set itself out because it probably should have.
Something else was happening. For example, here. This is even before the Daniel Sedgley incident. This is you see that already happening. Oh yeah. This also happened on the back of that whole accident. Interesting to see.
We talked so much before the race started about how you go into these corners, how you can lose control so easily.
And
You have to respect the apex here as well. And all those things
culminated.
culminated in the accidents we saw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
We saw Jean Diaz on the first lap. He missed the bus stop chicane. Oh,
Yeah, we did.
I'm not sure if that was to avoid a mistake, but
Just stopping and stuff.
that's what happened with him. I cannot find
can you please...
another incident happened on the other time. I'm trying to look for it, but it doesn't seem like anything else.
Yeah, we will clear
Exactly.
one thing once the safety car come in.
But this is what gets good with the
sorry, no,
BMW.
according to the pit lane. No, we're not doing it. No. If the
That
pit
is-
lane is closed, you're not permitted to pit.
And what if you have a completely bent car?
Same, unfortunately.
Lots of
Okay,
work out
then,
here,
good
unfortunately. So
Yeah. But it is good that we at least have a caution,
I need
because
to pass to overtake you.
so many people had an
I
accident,
need
and
to overtake you.
especially it was blocking all of the roads.
Hold their positions. There's people trying to overtake. Since Irish
With
is
this-
completely
that
fucked
was
up.
one of the perfect times to be a leader. You know, like that right there is the definition of why being a leader is so important.
Exactly.
Will we have separate starts for GTP and GT3?
But we don't usually see these cars going this slow.
Goodness gracious.
It's a good time for the example. Mattis, which is fuel saving. I bet you everything that he will now do a one stop, or most of the
Okay,
GTPs
so
actually.
We will be doing all one stop because the GT3 leader won't be allowed to drop a gap by the leader. So everyone will be going on the hypercar going. Both GT3 and hypercar. GTP.
Our racer right is saying that everyone
Sorry,
starts
Andy,
at the same
Bata
time,
Racing
not
told me to
separated.
overtake Sam, car 61. Just to let you know, Andy, the pit lane was open last lap around this time, and it's opened again by iRacing, just to let you know.
Sorry, but one of crashed while they were all going slow.
Green, green, green.
Not really, but we are green now, so we kind of missed this.
Please check my black flag with control.
So, second attempt here we go.
Lots of people did not
At round
follow
5,
the
our IMSA series, NCSL Racing at Watkins Glen. 10 minutes in, and we are basically resetting right now. Everyone now
Yep.
starts at the same time.
Yeah, Watkins Glen's doing Watkins Glen's things, unfortunately.
Please wait control. I didn't overtake nobody on the yellow flag.
You can kind of see there how the GT3 pros, how they go through the bus stop is just,
so many grasses
it feels so much tighter because you got to, the loss of speed is so much more significant. That'll be really interesting for both overtakes and just in general their pack
I
races
got a
to see,
black
especially
one
as we get
for
later,
black
assuming we get a longer green this time.
And instead of just being overtaken left and right. So this time it didn't work out for Stefano Gattuso, but I think now Stefano is in trouble here from the car behind him. But he keeps himself on the inside, so he defends from that Porsche. So Sebastian here, still trying to make up positions. And we see behind Wato Valley and the GTP now trying to get around all the GT3s. Oh, I see a little hit right behind. And already some cars are being blocked here.
Kind of looked like they took the corner a bit too tight together, and it might have been a right rear connect or maybe a left rear connect. It just kind of turned the Tinder car around. It's always that Tinder car. That's what you get for running such a nice livery, honestly.
I guess he swiped left.
Maybe that's what it is. Maybe Maybe needs a car that, you know, involves less swiping.
Yeah.
Maybe they can rock like a Plenty of Fish car next time. Go a little more traditional.
Still a lot going on. Still everyone's still packed up together because of little incidents that happened. Big incidents, so to say. We shouldn't even call them little, because they actually stopped the race. But now that everyone's still back together, you see, it's gonna change all the strategy for sure. Not just the GTPs, but even GTPs are probably involved on the strategy as well. 1.3 seconds.
Continuing to put up impressive times.
Yeah, already with the fastest lap of 128.0. 1.7 seconds ahead of Tommy Patera, that's in P2. Which is now...
Sebastian Hucroft making a run though.
Yeah, Mati's teammates. I think they have a really good setup perhaps. They practice really well together because for the teammates to be 1 and 2 would be fantastic.
Out of the turns, Sebastian makes up so much time on Tommy Patero. You can see it right here. The amount of time made up out of the turns is crazy, but then kind of midway through is where Tommy's making all the time back, and that's where the defense is coming from.
Something happened to Daniel Ronke just now. We will see it now on the replay. Just notice on the board they lost all the times. All the places, I mean. What has happened? That the frame lost control. But he managed to take out the car out of the racing line for everyone to go by, waiting for his opportunity to come back, and he does. Teddy Frame now is in last of the class. Actually, only one car behind him is Juan Valley, but he had traffic with the GT3.
Comparatively, I mean, I'm sure, honestly, we'll take that. With no contact, Clean's been able to get back at the track compared to the start of the race we saw. A much more calm approach.
Yeah.
Take a look at Carlos Oza, who's been putting up a decent race to Rupa. Hasn't made up significant ground, but Rupa, who had such an impressive qualifying, has not really made up distance the way we've seen Matisse do. So, for Carlos, it's a better spot to be in.
It's definitely harder on this track because of, well, slipstream. You really need to put at least a second ahead of the car behind, like Matisse is doing with Tommy. Now 2.2 seconds ahead.
And Sebastian getting even closer to Tommy.
Actually, it seems like Carlos is even fuel saving a bit. He took advantage of being behind Rupa to say as much as possible to only do this at the one stop. You can see him lifting really early. This is gonna be
Stegman, second race with the pros.
Sadly, he was involved in the accident, that corner that we saw with the Tinder car. Now he's trying to get in the middle of the three. Guess he's going to stay on the outside this time. And he stays there behind, but I think he's going to lose a little bit of time from the Ferrari. Guess Ferrari had a better exit, the Ferrari behind him.
I cannot believe there was no contact there.
Well, usually people can drive safely. It was just unfortunate those first laps because I think it was over aggressiveness, really.
Yeah, I'm starting to have Stockholm syndrome.
Anyway, so far everything is going well. The only scenery we saw for the GTPs was that spin from the Neuronica, but so far everything's going well. I think the Ferrari, we just saw the Ferrari behind that they just overtook. I guess he's going to the pits. Samir Rashad is going to try and overtake Leon. And suddenly got a bit of distance, so never mind, we are not seeing that overtake happening. For now, we are seeing though is that GTPs and GT3 traffic are now all together.
Oh, trouble for Daniel. Didn't collect anyone.
No, and we see the BMW ahead of him missing the corner as well. You know what I think happened? Let me just see. He does cut the wall, I knew it. That's why his car suddenly went to the left. He didn't cut the corner properly, that's why he managed to hit him. Sebastian, of course, still trying to overtake Tommy Patero here.
It's gotten very close a couple of times, but Tommy's been able to completely change a Tinder car. It's in the middle of the track, luckily.
On the same
2
corner,
and 3 able to avoid it.
And you see that his rear left is damaged.
There are 10 days left in the video.
Let's just see what happened.
We seen it.
Was it alone again? Because it's the same corner as before. It's tough with these cars because a lift off oversteer, so you take off the throttle and the car just spins and you can't really control it back. It's a car just wants to go. I see. So he went on the inside to let all the cars on behind, but still moving himself.
For example, can you check then that
My goodness.
He gets a bit hit on, yeah, he should, as soon as he had space, he should just go all the way backwards to the bit of the runoff. Actually, the cup layout, and then go back, because the way he did it, yeah, he was still on the way of everyone. You know, you learn. You learn from the mistakes. Matis, though, is not 2 seconds ahead of everyone else. Again, traffic is putting these drivers all together. But the top 3 is about 8 seconds ahead of P4. Meanwhile, let's just see if anything happens between this traffic, because seems like something could happen. As we see Tommy going straight to the outside of the corner completely, but still managed to stay on track. But that went well. But he's still coming out of there, still now on the pit straight. So he is a bit clear ahead of him, so he will try to use this opportunity to catch the cars ahead of him, which still have traffic, I mean. Carlos wants now this opportunity to pass Robin to Hamel. Let's see if he can do it. Seems he's not really going to try even. He is going slow on purpose. See Carlos taking the corner a bit tighter than Robin. He really cuts it, unlike Robin, who stays on the left side of the corner there. Matteo Lemeray just crashed. You see what happened here? His car, it looked like his car was already damaged. Yeah, it was already damaged on the back. Wonder what that was. And he has no rear, so he ends up hitting the wall.
Joao, you have no rear wing, man.
That's it. Ooh.
We're seeing a lot of these cars make all the same issues, mistakes. It's a lot of the same incidents so far.
That's a nice way to return to the track, but yet it is because that corner, the medium corners are tough, but then when you add camber to it, it makes it even harder. because it unbalances the car. Watch out, do not hit the leader of the GT3s. I think the GT3s even went a bit to the outside. Antonio Vitozzi has crashed. I wonder what happened to him. He stopped on track. Oh, so Tommy Pater and Sebastian. It looked like the gap was pretty close, but not close enough. These two are still fighting each other. Tommy is still trying to defend his P2. Yeah, right, threading the needle.
A needle thread, that's what the difference after the fact. We talked about the patience that the GTPs need to have going through the pack, and while we have seen it in a couple instances, I don't want to take it away when we have, there's been a lot of that chaos that we were kind of worried about.
Yeah. Still traffic behind, so it's not completely safe for these GT3 drivers. Even though they are still trying to fight their position. Like Osman trying to catch that P2, yeah, of course, was up. Thankfully, the BMW is on the straight. So far, the overtakes have been clean. Even though Carlos was went off track completely there.
We're finally seeing the GT3 Pro Class separate a bit. For a while, they were all racing so closely, and that was when we were seeing a lot of those incidents going through the pack. So seeing some space between them finally might lead to some cleaner racing overall over there, which would be nice.
I just saw that. Hold on. As I was switching camera, I saw the Porter just cut the corner. You saw that?
I actually didn't. I was looking at the times as you said it.
Yeah, it seemed like he missed the bus stop.
Not ideal.
No, and I can't really show you because it's not showing here. Oh well. Let's just go to Mattia. I have to Mattia.
Hitting in this lap.
Watch out how much you accelerate before you start spinning your car. Oh yeah, that's a bit too aggressive on the move. Thankfully, it had done anything happen to the car you tried to overtake. So Mattia basically gets his penalty. Race current penalty, but Stewards also investigate from that move, but that was not a move you could do. It was completely not safe. It is being investigated. We see the stewards talking about it, as we see now. Interesting enough, the GTPs are already pitting. I guess they will not be able, at least these ones will not be able to do it on one pit stop. John Diaz was have a rear wing. Wonder what that was, because I cannot see when that was. This battle's still going on. Mati says pitted, Tommy Patel is also pitted. This is not a two-stop race. This is definitely a one pit stop race. Where I can't even see who won the previous race. It was, no, I forgot. Danny Serge, yeah, Danny Serge is out of the race now, I just noticed. So we
can the second repair got Daniel.
Fortunately, yeah. Fortunately, we will not see his pit strategy to work on this track. I was curious if it would work or not, but apparently probably not. Even with those yellow flag laps, they still didn't save enough fuel to go past the 40-minute mark, so definitely a two pit stop race.
And definitely a track where fresh tires can matter too.
Oh, definitely.
So maybe hitting a bit late too. Ooh, that'll be something worth looking out for. Definitely something to consider.
Look at my incidents.
Rupe has already pitted, by the way, so the GT3 leader is currently Carlos Vozo, but he has Osman stood right behind him. Osman with the fastest lap too.
Lap 5, both on motor action. That's what you're referring to?
Both in the pit.
Ahead here to Marco Pavona.
Both benefit, yeah.
Trying to get past Oriol. What?
Okay.
What was that? Was that the attempt of Oriol just trying to let the GTP pass? Was Marco... was he suspect that he couldn't overtake yet on that corner? That was confusing.
That was very odd.
Very odd. I want to see that again.
Yeah, I was just gonna ask you that. There was plenty of room there.
Yeah. The weird situation to be in. Console Valley. Bunch of cash carrot. Spence, let's see. None of these cars have pitted yet. All 4 of these. Well, I think if you count the 2 pit stops, Alvaro Gutierrez started on a pit, so that's why it says 1 stop. The other pit stop could be damage. Console Valley probably has already pitted, yes. Actually, I forgot. We can't even see when they pitted. Why am I forgetting how to be casting here? There we go. This is one I wanted. Yeah, so lap 3. So he still has to pit. Alvaro Gutierrez also lap 1. He still has to pit. These are not enough pit stops to last another stint, so they will have to pit at least 2 more times. And you see the Tinta car in the back there. Still going.
You're hoping for no more swipes.
Yeah.
It's 2 races of too many swipes.
8 cents before F.
So while these drivers are pitting, we see now Marcelo as well. He has
Stupid! Idiot! Idiot!
Ooh, that. Watch out. Gattuso there. Stefano Gattuso with the language. I think the stewards will not like that.
Yep, one of the easier moments for the stewards from this race so far, at least.
Yeah.
You can look at it from that perspective.
That P1 and P4 of the GT3 Pro still has to pit. But I don't think they will last. We're only with pit stop. They probably have to do 2 pit stops. Meanwhile, yeah, Alvaro Gutierrez here. He hasn't pitted 2 I saw in the first lap. I mean, one of them being out lap, the other one being lap 1, probably incident. But should be pitting about now.
It's been an eventful 30 minutes so far, Watkins Glen for anti-stall racing.
Interesting.
Lots of chaos, lots of hard work from the stewards, certainly, but there are a lot of within class races that post pits we actually can look forward to, which it'll be nice to actually have some racing to look at and put the chaos of the first 30 behind us.
Once over the stick, keep going. Yeah, how fast these laps went, but these 40 minutes, I mean, really quickly. Marcelo Caserta now still going, still hasn't pitted. You see a lot of the absolute motorsports drivers here, especially on the GT3 class. It's great that so many of the same team are here. Really good to see, especially team events and with teammates on the same league. Because it works really well as a motorsport series, you know, to see teammates going on the track at the same time. Wonder if Andrea will try to pass his teammate though. Still keeping himself behind. Really close too. Masaka said finally went to the pit as well as Ruben Saban. So that means all the GTPs have pitted. The only person that hasn't pitted is Juan Salvalo, which is still leading. Wonder if he is fuel saving, I think, because he just let off the throttle early. We will try to hear his car and see how much he is working on the fuel saving. Not much, actually.
Yeah, I expected much more.
Yeah, not very aggressive on the fuel saving, so I thought he can do it with only one pit stop. No. He did pit later than the other driver, so he didn't do the first 2 laps or the out lap, so that's a bit of fuel save. It seems like it's not gonna be enough if he pits now to try and do a stint of 25 minutes, 56 minutes. We'll see. It's a bet that's been going on for a long time. They are still close together to each other. Tommy Patel and Sebastian Graf. Juan Salvalo finally in the pits. Oh, now this is the opportunity for him to overtake. This has to be now. The time to do it. Let's see if he goes to the left side. He goes to the left side or the right side. He goes to the left side.
Oh, this car is going to matter a lot, though.
He aborts it. He doesn't try it after all.
You can't pass on the outside going into the bus stops usually because this right here will ruin the passing attempt. So with that slower car that was coming up on the left-hand side, it made it impossible for Sebastian to make an ideal pass.
Oh, this is the opportunity. He might just try it now. He does try to go on the outside, but yeah, Tommy Patel has the inside. I think it's gonna be on the advantage. Unless he can do a switch around here. No, it's with this downforce of these cars, it's kind of hard to actually do it like that. You can really do it tight and fast compared to GTP.
It's clear to me that Sebastian might need to do it on the bus stop, but without traffic. That might be the key.
Ooh, right in the middle of those cars. Interesting. Then I can probably is right. Hold on. Ooh, I look like he touched some stuff. He's being really aggressive. Like
these GTPs are going through the traffic very aggressively.
Yeah, they are. Not sure if that was completely safe by Daniel Cavalli to do those overtakes. I think I missed an accident here. Oh, no, wait. Before we do this, Tommy Patero and Sebastian Graf were super close to each other. Is it going to be an attempt? No, it's not. But they still have traffic ahead of them. Ooh, what is that? It looked like the traffic slowed down on purpose to let the cars by, but they were mostly on the way because one was on the inside, the other was on the outside. That didn't help at all, the GTPs. Sebastian gonna try to send it on the inside now? No, he's still gonna keep behind.
Oh, it's so close.
But we see that the
Sebastian's
Cadillac,
really trying to make a pass attempt.
you see that Cadillac though has opportunity to do it on the corner exits, like he usually does better on the corner exit. But still doesn't look like he got the right timing to do it.
Which is a switch from earlier, because at the beginning of the race, we were pointing out how Sebastian came out of the corners just so much faster than Tommy, and now Tommy is doing the same thing to Sebastian. So Sebastian's got to figure out something else. That's why I was looking at the bus stop when I was trying to think of where it could be possible for Sebastian to make that overtake attempt. Because if you need to rely on how you enter a turn, if you can try to enter the bus stop on the right-hand side, force an inside pass onto Tommy Patero, then as you come out of the bus stop, out of the third exit of it, you should be able to complete the pass because there's a right-hand turn right after it that's pretty tight.
He's trying to go off track there and kind of be obstructed by the GT3. So what happened here? Was it hit the wall? I think he did hit the wall or just started to lose control. Does he at least manage to get inside? Oh, right. Yeah, that's sketchy though. That is sketchy. The way he returned to the track. So, we missed something here. I need to check again. But Sebastian is ahead of Tommy Patero. And we miss it because...
by a significant margin too.
There was definitely something happening. Oh, that is the bus stop. The dreaded bus stop. That's the opportunity he took.
Yep, well I mentioned the need for Sebastian to pass Tommy Patero in the bus stop. I certainly didn't envision it would happen from Tommy Patero getting loose in the bus stop and spinning out. That was not what I had in mind, but I'm sure Sebastian Hillgrath will certainly take that with a thank you kindly.
I wanted to see if he did hit the wall, but I don't think so. It was just the behavior of the car that unsettled it.
That and combined with having to defend so strongly for so many laps this race, you know, mistakes like that can happen, fortunately.
Oh, hit the wall. There was a hit on the wall.
Oh,
that was
hard
a hit. Definitely a hit on the wall. But the first one, I think he hit the blue wall there before he went to the tire barrier. Yeah, so that's the battle between P2 and P3 done, and Tommy Patero is now 5 seconds behind. But again, no damage. No visible damage, at least. That is strange. Strange that the situation even happened.
So, you know, that's 2 weeks in a row now of Tommy Patero being in close races where, and it's certainly not over yet, but just where the battle culminated in a way that was certainly not what we wanted to see. You want to be able to see them race it out clean, and it truly be a matter of who had the better of their opponent, especially in the bus stop where we expected to see that pass happen. And it was similar last week for Tommy Patero, so 2 weeks of bad luck for Tommy Patero.
Another situation I'm noticing, Roop is not leading even after the pit stops. Why is that? Did he lose more time on the pits? Did they pit? I mean, Roop pitted 1 lap earlier. It is odd that Roop doesn't have the current lead. He was leading all the first laps before he pitted. But possible still for him to still get the lead. You can see his lap times. Wait, is it less lap time? He is a bit slower on the previous lap times though. There we go. So he is slower on the previous laps. Lap 18 he was fastest, yeah, between the car P2 and P4. I wonder if this lap is gonna be faster. It is slower as well. Doesn't look like he has the edge anymore. Or was the car ahead of him? Or, well, Osman just being the fastest driver overall for him.
A lot of drama, but a lot of twists and turns so far.
Yeah.
Lots of unexpected ways of things working out, like especially considering Rupa, just somebody who was such a favorite at the start and how he looked at qualifying. Surprising to see the last few laps and just how it's working out so far. And it feels like that's kind of the case across the field, with the real exception being Matisse.
There's not really any battles going on, I guess. Only just a GT3 AM to a GT3 Pro driver here. Leon trying to overtake Marcelo Cassetta. Robin Duell trying to go on the outside of the Porsche on Porsche.
Robin Duhamel's had some really impressive laps so far in this race.
Who is doing? Sorry, I didn't hear it.
What was that? I'm sorry.
Who has the fastest laps? They're impressing you?
Robin Duhamel has had some strong lap times show up.
Oh, yeah.
I'm looking at the track record bot. Sorry, of course the one time it gets hard to hear you was when you asked me a question.
Oh, I need to perhaps increase my volume?
Oh, no, it's fine now.
Okay.
I guess we needed a pit stop of our own.
You see now, everyone's all between the classes, everyone's pretty distant from each other. Only like 2 people are close under a second between each other, but before everyone's like super close to each other. Now it's capped between 5 seconds, even 10 seconds. And Rupe is not even
really
catching P2.
Yeah. Very different from last week.
Oh yeah.
Love that camera angle.
It's fantastic, yeah. Yeah, Stefan trying to get that GT3 AM lead from Leon, but Leon is driving really well. I think he never was even leading on the GT3 AM class before. You can see the clouds though. Did you notice that the sky
I was just gonna say, that's the Watkins Glen look right there. It's gotten a little less sunny, and that's the Watkins Glen look. That's if you go to any of the famous moments at this track, again, across really any motorsport, not just the 6 hours, not just NASCAR. If you go across any of them, so many of the best moments happen when it's just cloudy and gloomy here. It's just kind of a feel of the track thing. It's one of those iconic looks in my brain. It's like the sun at Daytona.
Yeah. But it is sorry, what time is it? 3:50 p.m. on track. It's starting to get a bit on the sunset, but still plenty of sun on track. As we see, Stefan has pitted the car that was behind Leon. We got Rupe still trying to catch up. Let's see how his lap times are now. Look at that, he's still, every lap he's still slower than Osman. Meanwhile, Sebastian still 5 seconds ahead of Tommy. Now that he's finally clear of Tommy Patero, doesn't look like Tommy can even get close to him. Lap times, let's see. Some laps are faster, some laps are slower. Last lap, no, lap 27, I mean, is a second slower he lost all that advantage he was getting from Sebastian. This is comparing P1, P2, and P3.
And Matthias is at a point where they just have to finish the race cleanly.
Yeah, we haven't even talked about him, but yeah, he is 11 seconds ahead. And as long as he doesn't do any trouble with the traffic, he should be fine. Should.
Hey, that's the key so far in this race, right? As long as we aren't talking about you, I mean, things are probably going pretty well.
Yeah. So yeah, I was just looking at another camera perspective just to see how distance everyone was looking at. And so far, yeah, still everyone has quite a distance between each other.
It's probably the only reason we haven't had any incidents recently, considering the start. I mean, it's been so nice for the racing to have calmed down so much, but... Oh. That's unexpected.
Yeah, but still he still has such a gap to the car behind him that I think he's still gonna win it. Well, Tommy Patel is also in the pit, so they pitted previously on the same lap.
So I guess it ended up being a two-stop race.
What I want to see was Eloy Caballero. Eloy Caballero pitted the latest. I mean, what? I'll team the car. Where did this swipe this time?
This is that same area too.
Don't hit the wall. Oh, that's his front gun. And I think
it's
he
been
already
the same area this entire race too for Oriol.
Previously it was the corner behind, the one that goes uphill. But now I think he crashed too many times. And I don't think he can repair the car anymore.
Well, the GTP class just got way more interesting, considering the distance between these pits will put a hammer in things.
Eloy Caballero just pitted, by the way. So... who else pit? Oh, it was Guanzo Valley, not Eloy Caballero. It was this teammate, but not that one. It's Guanzo Valley who pitted the latest. He pitted in lap 20. Currently, I think we are on lap 29 or lap 30? I think we are now lap 30. I don't think he can last enough. I don't think he can last enough. It would be fantastic to see. No, he just pitted. See? Eloy Caballero just pitted. He cannot make it after all. Wait. Again, I'm confusing myself. It's Guanzo Valley, which we need to check because he pitted the latest from everyone else. Not Eloy Caballero, not Álvaro Gutierrez, because he pitted to, for a different situation. And which one was his other teammate? Carl Sponsored, yeah. These are the 4 drivers that had the same livery. That confused me for a bit.
Just crossed 9 minutes to go.
Sebastian should be pitting on this lap currently. I think he is going slowly exactly to pit. Yep, he is. Meanwhile, Robin Duhamel right behind. Still far behind, so it's gonna take a while. Meanwhile, we have the net P1 here. Oh, another thing to notice. We did see Guanzo Valley. He's the one who hasn't pitted. But Matis are already pitted and he still stays ahead. Tony Patel also pitted and stays ahead. You see how, because the last pit stop is shorter, they won't spend as much time in the pit stop, and that's why Guanzo will not get the opportunity to be ahead of them. Not to mention, another thing is that this pit line, pit road is really short compared to some other tracks. Even Interlagos, the previous track, still had a bit of a long pit road to go through compared to this one, which is really short, and then you get straight into the racing line at speed on the first corner. That's another strategy you gotta think about. If the pitting is gonna take a long time due to how long you need to spend driving slow. Not just wasting your time, you know, putting the fuel in your car, but also the time that you take on going through that pit. But is Rupe, can he finally make it ahead of these two cars? I don't think so. Yeah, Osman and Carlos have already exited the pit. Meanwhile, Rupe is still on the first corner. These guys are going uphill, so I don't think Rupe will actually win this race this time. Except for him on the last two races, because he was quick on the first ones. Last one he had terrible luck from the accident. And he might as well lose the lead on the championship. Who is yeah, Carlos is only 23 points behind him. Alessandro Porta is more points, about 80 points behind. Alessandro Porta is gonna get quite a lot of points here. No, Alessandro needs to pit as well, I forgot. Not even sure.
I was just gonna say, Rupa won't get a victory, but Rupa is looking at a podium because Alessandro has to pit.
I'm not sure if he can get a podium too. Because the last pit stop is going to be short, yes. So he's probably not going to be 18 seconds in the pit compared to the gap he has to Carlos Bosa. We will have to keep an eye on that. Meanwhile, Kevin Stam here trying to overtake his Install Racing teammate of Ruben Segman that's on the Pro Class now. And there's a GTP getting really close to them. Another one right behind them, but I think these other teammates are fine to go around them. Eloy Caballero now. That is ahead of the traffic, trying to catch Juan Sorval, which again, Juan Sorval hasn't pitted yet. Not sure if he still will.
And there's the pit from Alessandro Porta as well.
I just saw that, yeah, he is exiting the pit, so where is he placed? He's placed behind Rupe, yeah. So he will not get the win, so he is still gonna stay about third place in the championship. Carlos Bosato will get an advantage in points compared to who is racing, or Rupe Kurikipa. 5 minutes to go, anything can still happen. We've seen it on the previous race. Not over till
this
you
was
cross
around
the
the
line.
time, exactly. This is around the time last week where Tommy Patero did get into that incident we mentioned earlier, and that completely changed how that race ended. And not just for first through third for that race, and even fourth. So plenty of time for all that stuff to go down. And as we heard, it won't have the issue this time, thankfully, because nobody did anything crazy with pits, but as we even heard from Daniel Sedgley last week, that last lap, even when the white flag matters, it makes a big difference. Loose off the track there, going to be a big advantage for Stefano, who will move into ninth, but the fight continues. Heading into the S's, will get the advantage before the bus stop, which is massive, but instantly does go to the bottom, looking for the pass still on a Stefano, who's holding on strong and will hold the position into the bus stop.
Fantastic opportunity there for Stefano to get ahead of Kevin Galvin. Like, really well timed to go on the inside and stay on the outside. Another incident. What happened to Oriol here? We saw him slowing down through the GTPs previously. That caused an accident, but did he lose control the same way as he used to see? It is. He almost made it. It's not as a bad situation he was compared to the other cars. Look at that.
Osman leader too.
Osman is getting closer to Carlos.
That's about a second in the last minute that was made up from Osman. That's pretty significant.
Yeah, look at lap 29, 1.2 seconds, last lap 0.1 seconds. I mean, if he can manage to at least get the slipstream distance, he could still nab that race win. Currently 1.1 seconds. We will keep a close eye on that. Meanwhile, Stanley McGionney also getting closer to Kevin Stam on the last minutes of the race. This is the last opportunity they have to really push as much as they can to get the last position for the race. You don't see that many these drivers being that close to each other through most of the race. Now we are seeing them that they're finally confident enough that they can actually push the car to get that last position gain. Osman just lost a bit of time there, so I don't think he made it any closer to Carlos Boza.
You got to 1.2 and then dropped down. As you said, unfortunately, that might be the end of the potential there, because the ground made was significant, but that momentum had to keep going because that slipstream was a requirement for any potential.
He is getting closer though, Kevin Stam. Getting closer to his gearbox. But I don't think it's enough space to do it yet. I think he has to do it on the next lap.
Did take a peek though.
I think that was
going into that bus stop.
I think that was just to not have the slipstream, otherwise he would go too fast and might even hit the car ahead of him. You see a lot of the racing drivers do that.
We have crossed 59 minutes, so just about a minute to go at Watkins Glen.
Where is our leader of Matis? Matis is now crossing the across the line. Now he is definitely on the last lap. This is definitely white flag. So at least the GT3s that we just saw, they have another lap they can do. Whoa! There we go. That's the gap. It's now 0.5 of a second there on the last lap between the GT3 pros. He gained about a second on the last lap. But can he actually make it before they cross the line? This is their last lap as well. We see
what a significant portion of time that Osman made up.
Can he keep it himself till the end? It is 0.3 now. This is for the GT3 lead.
You can see Osman really push into that bus stop and try to gain any ground possible.
Let's just see that this is, and now the leader is about to cross the line and he finished in first place, but meanwhile that is his opportunity. They are side by side and still keeping himself.
Got the inside advantage.
Yes, he does for the first corner, but can he do it as on the next corner?
They're going to stay side by side, so it's going to be close coming into the next corner where Osman will have the advantage and pull ahead for the overtake.
Oh, I thought Carlos would just try doing it again on the inside just to get that position back, but he does not. He keeps himself behind. I think this is the last card here for Carlos Boza. He that was sure to win this, but look, they can still do it. Carlos Boza will he keep it on the inside? And no, Osman just asserts himself in first place. And that is a race win for Osman third. Carlos Boza crossing P2 of the GT3 class. And I didn't even talk about Matis, but yeah, he crosses as well in first place, 12 seconds ahead of P2 of Sebastian Woodgar. Time Patel in P3. Meanwhile, they're still actually going up because I just noticed that Marcel Cassette just passed Daniel Maggioni. Actually, Daniel Maggioni is going slow. He's going slow. Did he not have enough fuel? Not sure if he does have enough club because he has to cross the finish line. We see that he doesn't have the flag near his name. I guess he's going really, really close just to not lose enough fuel. He doesn't have damage, that's just like a fuel. But he does end up crossing the line and managed to stay in P7. Almost lost it to P8 there of Mirko Fincato.
And then for the GT3 AMs, looks like Leon Elevat's going to take victory there.
Another incident with this car, by the way. Let's just see what happened. He lost control again of the car. It doesn't seem like it's a really
That actually
stable.
goes back to what I talked about at the very beginning of when we were in qualifying and we were doing our lap. I mentioned if you took that turn too wide, you could kind of get caught up in the marbles and lose the control, and that's exactly what happened. It took the whole race for that premonition to come true, but eventually it came there. But let's take a look at the winners from this round 5 race at Watkins Glen.
So we have on the top 10 Matis Witten in P1, Sebastian Graf P2, Tony Pater in P3, Juan Sobovale P4, Eloy Caballero in P5, Alvaro Gutierrez in P6, Daniel Carvalho in P7, Carlos Ponce in P8, Stefano Rebes in P9, Kevin Gavin in P10. That's the top 10 of this class. We now go on to the GT3 Pros. Osman Sir gets his first win on this series.
Dramatic fashion too.
Yeah, right on the last lap, really well executed that overtake. Carlos Boza, unfortunately for him, gets P2, still a good result. Managed to even pass. No, I don't think he even passes Rupe Krupke on the championship. Rupe, which finished this race in P3. Alessandro Porta in P4, Kevin Stam in P5, Marcelo Cassette in P6, Daniel Maggioni in P7, Mirko Fincato in P8, Stefano Gattuso in P9, and Ruben Segman in P10. As for our GT3 AM drivers, we have Leon Elwood winning his first race, Stefan Albanese in P2, Samir Arshad in P3, Neil Zulman in P4, Marco Capizzola in P5, Simon Guerrero in P6, Anthony Coranta in P7, Michael Butte in P8, Amy Grimm, I'm not sure, in P9, and Johan Brinstel in P10. As we go on to actually, let's just interview first Leon. Hello, Leon. Sorry, I need to push you because I wanted to do the interview. This is your first win, so congratulations.
Yeah, man, thanks. It's crazy. It feels so good, to be honest. No mistakes. And just bring her home, and that happened. So,
and that was not a
crazy
easy race to have no mistakes.
I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. I was just agreeing with you. That was a tough race to have no mistakes and get through cleanly. So you should feel very proud of it. That was a difficult race.
Yeah, it was tough. Like I was sweating so much, but in the end, like the caution was a bit weird. I don't know what happened exactly, but yeah, we survived and we finished. So.
You don't want to know what happens at the caution, but at the time of the caution, were you ahead of the incidents or were you behind all that? I think you were ahead of it. Yeah, you were closer to the leaders.
I think I've drove past some incidents. I had to like brake. Yeah, there was a big crash on the main straight, so everybody had to slow down. And then I got a little tap from Seb, and then I had to overtake him again during safety car. And after that, it was just. Keep looking forward, and I want to just thank the guys back at the factory, and it was a great race.
All right, any more questions, Anthony?
No, I mean, congratulations, like my friend said, and I just really, you should feel proud of getting through cleanly, because that was not the cleanest of races for everybody to get through as a pack, and to be able to have such a dominant victory through the AMs. You should feel proud, and the sweat was earned.
Yeah, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it.
All right, and we also have here Matis. Matis with another race win. Actually, congrats to you for rating after the previous race, which you didn't have so much luck at. Even though previous race you didn't even look like you were getting close to the podium, especially with your qualifying, you at least came back here leading from the start. So how was it?
Yeah, man, it's been a while. Yes, finally don't fucked up my quali. Did a really good lap. I think I had 4 tenths or so, which was enough for pole. Yeah, I know I had the pace to win this race. So from the start, I really took a gap from the others. But yeah, then the caution came out, so we had to play it all over again. But luckily, yeah, we did the same trick, took a gap, and yeah, lead the race from start to finish.
Also, your teammate finished in P2.
Yes, really great to see DLR finishing 1-2. That Sebastian really need the points for the championship, so maybe he took some spots as well in the standing. So yeah, we'll see what this will bring us.
Yeah, it was a really exciting race between Sebastian and Tommy Patero for most of it. Apparently, Tommy Patero had actually unfortunately sneezed in the bus stop and had spun out in front of Sebastian, which led to the overtake. But they had a very...
Oh, you're kidding.
Yeah, I had just read that. But before that, they had a very exciting race between the two of them. A lot of back and forth and a lot of Sebastian and Tommy trading who was getting the better coming out of the turns, who was getting the better going in. So yeah, they had a very exciting race behind you, but not one you had to worry about. You were very comfortable in first place for the majority of that race, so congratulations.
Yes, thanks, man. Yeah, for once, it was a dominant race. It was another type of race of last week at Interlagos, where I started P6, I think.
If I'm not mistaken, I think the only trouble I almost saw you get in, and this could have been your teammate because the liveries are the same, and we were obviously looking at the driver who got in the incident, but I believe when the Tinder car had spun out at one point, Oriel Beck, I believe you got kind of close to it after it bounced off the wall, but I feel like that was the only time I saw you near any of the trouble.
Yeah, I think that was Sebastian. I saw the Tinder car in the first quarter of the race. I think it spun in turn 9, and I was happy the car was staying off track. So I didn't see the car parked there. So I got lucky. I didn't crash into it. I still want to apologize for the GT3 car that, yeah, I called him a retard. But it's the heat of the moment. After the bus stop, he spun and rejoined right on the track. So my race was almost over. But yeah, after that, I think we got lucky. We didn't collide with any GT3 drivers or crashes. I know it happened a lot this race. So yeah, I think I got lucky as well.
I think when you had the opportunity, you should check at least on stream, because yeah, that's what caused the yellow, and probably unexpectedly everyone had to slow down and be behind the pace car. So the gap that he had at the start had to go back a bit, but he did a good job, and congrats on another win and keeping that championship lead for a while.
Yes, thanks, man. I definitely will watch back the stream, and yeah, the aim is the championship, so let's go.
Thank you so much, Anthony. Shall we wrap this up, or you still have another question for Mati?
Oh, I did not.
No, yeah,
I did not. So no worries.
Yeah, I forgot to ask, but yeah. So that's round 5, everyone, on Watkins Glen. We are coming back in 2 weeks' time now. Right? No, it's actually 1 week, and then it's a 2-pause week. Yeah, so next week we are coming back here on Anti-Stall Racing to race in Daytona. And you probably also know Daytona, don't you, Anthony?
I do. Look at me, 2 weeks in a row.
Yeah, it's another fantastic track, very famous, and another popular IMSA track. Especially for the Daytona.
And if this track had any, if this gave us any inkling of what these fast-paced, pack racing style, fast-cornered American tracks can offer, I expect Daytona to be even more chaotic.
Actually, Watkins Glen is a lot worse on the incidents Usually Daytona, people keep it safer. It's just that you at least have more time to think about your moves on the straights. But this one is
No.
because it's a fastest corner.
Let's hope that wasn't a caster curse right there.
I hope, at least from the previous race we've done Daytona, they all went fine. Just fine. Not as chaotic as Watkins Glen. Even on official races, Watkins Glen is a nightmare. But well, Daytona, I think it's even going to be on the nighttime. It's going to be interesting to watch. Thank you everyone, and also thank you Anthony for being here in me on the commentating booth.
Of course, thank you for having me.
And we see you all in next week here on Anti-Soul Racing.